Non-profit of the government factories, Prime Minister also seeks answer. BNP Awami League at loggerheads over city polls. Rapist Mojoh sent on 7 days remand. Ready for unconditional talk with Iran, US sends letter to UN. Those were the headlines. You're watching 18 News. Good afternoon, viewers. I'm Naim Mubin with news at 5. Now the details. The Prime Minister herself is unable to understand why the factories under public sector do not earn profit. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina made the remark at a program marking Textile Day at Bangla International Conference Center in the capital on Thursday. She called on the private entrepreneurs to come forward for the development of the textile sector. In her address, the Prime Minister not only emphasized on bringing dynamism in the export products, but also advised the business people to have bargaining with foreign buyers to get more value for their products. The Prime Minister handed over citations to 9 organizations and chiefs of the organizations for their contribution in the textile sector. People have no confidence on the government and the election commission. 2 BNP mayoral candidates for Dhaka city polls, Tabit Awal and Ishaq Hussain, and senior leaders of the party made a remark while exchanging views with leaders and activists of the party affiliates on Thursday. They said if any conspiracy is hatched over Dhaka city polls, the future movement will be oust government movement. BNP is trying to make the city election controversial. Senior leaders of ruling Awami League made allegation at a program marking Bangabandhu's homecoming day at the Krishibid Institution on Thursday. They said BNP's mayoral candidates are very little known. That is why they are optimistic about Awami League's win in the polls. They said it will not be possible to defeat Awami League if the leaders and activists of the party remain united. They also called on the dissident councillor candidates to withdraw their nominations. A Dhaka court has sent Mojoh Ara on allegation of raping Dhaka University student on 7 days remand. The court granted 7 days remand after police sought 10 days remand, producing him before the court on Thursday. Investigation officer of the case, Deputy Commissioner of Detective Police, Moshir Rahman, said it is very important to take Mojoh on remand to prove the case. The medical test report of the victim will also be cross-matched with clues of the rapist. He said charge sheet of the case will be submitted within the quickest possible time soon after getting investigation report from CID. The Dhaka University student was raped in capital's Kurmitola on Sunday night. The Rapid Action Battalion arrested him at dawn Wednesday. The first phase of the 55th Bisho Ijtema will begin on the banks of River Touareg on Friday. The Ijtema will continue till January 12. The second phase will begin on January 17 and will end on January 19. All preparations for the smooth holding of Ijtema have already been completed. Although Ijtema was scheduled to begin through Mass sermon after Fajr prayer on Friday, the Mass sermon will begin from today, Thursday, after Asr prayer. Thousands of devotees from home and abroad have already converged to the banks of River Touareg to attend the Ijtema. A tight 5-tier security arrangement has been made for Ijtema. 8,000 police personnel, plainclothes police, RAB and people of different intelligence agencies have been deployed at the Ijtema ground from today, Thursday. Besides, there will also be BGB patrolling for ensuring security of the devotees during the Ijtema. The news from around the world. The US says it is ready to engage without preconditions in serious negotiations with Iran following the country's exchange of hostilities. In a letter to the UN, the US justified the killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani as an act of self-defense. Iran has retaliated by firing missiles at air bases housing U.S. forces in Iraq, causing no casualties. It also told the UN it was an act of self-defense. General Soleimani was widely held as being Iran's second most senior official. As head of the Revolutionary Guard's elite Quds force, he was an architect of Iranian policy in the region. Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei described the missile attacks as a slap on the face of U.S. NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg spoke with U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday and agreed that the Western allies should take a more prominent role in the Middle East. The president asked the Secretary General for NATO to become more involved in the Middle East. A NATO statement said after the call between Washington and Brussels. They agreed that NATO could contribute more to regional stability and the fight against international terrorism. Earlier on Wednesday, in a statement about Iranian missile strikes on U.S. bases in Iraq, Trump had said, "Today I'm going to ask NATO to become much more involved in the Middle East process." The 70-year-old Atlantic Alliance boasts that it is the most successful in history and was the linchpin of Western European security throughout the Cold War.
Plugged into it on a completely different level, a much higher level, as opposed to...
Meanwhile, Iran has said it will not hand over black box flight recorders recovered from a plane that crashed with 176 people on board to manufacturer Boeing or to the U.S. The Ukrainian Boeing 737-800 went down just minutes after taking off from Tehran's airport, leaving no survivors. Under global aviation rules, Iran has the right to lead the investigation. However, manufacturers are typically involved, and experts say few countries are capable of analyzing black boxes. The crash came at a time of high tensions between Iran and the U.S. and just hours after Iran carried out missile strikes on 2 air bases housing U.S. forces in Iraq. There is no evidence the 2 events are linked.
Hello, everyone. Thank you.
The Australian state of Victoria has again declared a state of disaster ahead of forecast dangerous dynamic conditions in a massive bushfire zone. Despite a national bushfire crisis raging since September, the southeastern state is only entering what is considered to be its worst fire months. Blazes have already burnt 1.2 million hectares in Victoria and claimed 3 lives. Nationally, 27 people have died. The danger is predicted to be the greatest on Friday due to hot, volatile weather. "I know we have not seen this much fire activity this early in the season," State Premier Daniel Andrews said on Thursday, "but I also make the point I don't think we've seen as coordinated, as effective a response to that unprecedented fire activity as we have seen in these last few weeks." Now sports. Toni Kroos's opportunistic goal direct from a corner helped Real Madrid reach the Spanish Super Cup final with a 3-1 victory over Valencia in Saudi Arabia. Kroos's corner was punched in by Valencia keeper João Dominic as he scrambled back towards his line after remonstrating with his defenders. Isco's volleyed finish doubled Real's lead before Luka Modric made it 3-0. Daniel Parejo scored a late consolation from the penalty spot after a referee consulted the pitch-side VAR monitor. The penalty was given for handball by Sergio Ramos, despite it appearing to be accidental. Barcelona will face Atletico Madrid in the other semi-final on Thursday, with Real facing the winner in the final on Sunday. Recapping the top stories once again before ending this bulletin. Non-profit of the government factories, Prime Minister also seeks answer. BNP Awami League at loggerheads over city polls. Rapist Mojoh sent on 7 days remand. And ready for unconditional talks with Iran, US sends letter to UN. That is all from Newsroom at the moment. Thank you for being with us. Keep watching 18 News.